tame, aren't you? Hmm? You got no food. Morning everybody, pretty late morning for us, so if you're not a through hiker, we're doing what we call a NERO. A zero is when you don't actually hike any distance, you just have a full rest day, but we're 7.5k to the next campground, and then it's about a 29 or 30k day down the beach the next day, so it just makes the next day shorter. We don't want to go over 30, and we're going to do a resupply on the way. Everybody's pretty tired yesterday. Nicola's got some new inner soles for her shoes to try out, see if that helps. And Super Kiwi, she just battles on. She doesn't stop. So there won't be a lot of footage today, but what I might do, I'm going to try and talk the Super Kiwi, Emma and Nicola, have a bit of a chat on camera, because you keep seeing them every day, so you might as well get to know them a little bit better, see who I'm hiking with at the moment. So yeah, we'll get into town here, get our resupply done, and I'll check in with you a bit later, probably at the next campsite. See ya. So that's Mangawhai Heads, so that's the little shopping centre. That's where the lovely ladies in the chemist helped us last night, and there's a little 4 square there, and that pizza shop. Easy walking distance from last night's campsite. We're pushing on because there's a new wheel, a bit more variety, a bit further down the road, but if you do stop at the same spot as us, just know that this is just up the road, easy walking distance. See ya. Now this is an easier way to cross estuaries. Well, New World in Mangawhai, the main shopping centre, big supermarket. It's got everything you need if you need a resupply. Sure, that Mangawhai is pretty good. It's got Carter's, it's got Bunnings, pretty much got everything here. The only thing it's missing really is somebody that supplies the dehydrated camp meals if you wanted them, but everything else is here. And we got butchers and dairies and super value supermarkets, all sorts of things here. So yeah, easy place to resupply. See ya. So just checked into the Riverside Holiday Park in Mangawhai. Short day, but beautiful little spot really, and really generous with the TA hikers. Give us a discount, give us a full-size towel and free hot showers to start us off. So laundry, and this is the big kitchen area we get to use. This big basket thing here is for TRO hikers, because they know we don't have pots and pans, so they say just use all those as much as you need and wash them and put them back in. And there's quite a nice area here where we can all sit back and chill out. See Patrick here from Switzerland. Meet up with him again. And yeah, a little games room area over here as well. It's got the air hockey and a couple of pool tables and soccer and ping pong. So yeah, really comfortable. I'm just chilling out on the couch here actually. I'll make this video and try and upload it shortly. Almost falling asleep, but we'll check in again tomorrow. We've got about a 30k day tomorrow, but pretty comfortable here. I'm going to have a good relaxing night, and I'll check in the morning. See ya. Good evening everybody. As I mentioned today, I was going to try and introduce you to these 2 people that you would have seen in a lot of my videos. Emma's maybe going to do an interview with us tomorrow. She's as shy as anything and doesn't think anybody wants to hear what she has to say. She doesn't realise how interesting she is. But this is the lady I refer to as the navigator. So take us away there. Just gives your name, where you're from, and your first question will be previous hiking experience.
Sure. So my name is Nicola. I am originally from South Africa. I was born in Johannesburg, but I've been living in Germany, in Berlin, for the last 12 years, about. So that's where I've flown in from. So when people tell me or ask me where are you from, I'm not quite sure whether to tell them South Africa or Germany, both. I have previously done a number of long distance hikes, most of them in Spain. So I've walked the Camino de Santiago 3 times, 3 different routes. My favorite of those was definitely the Norte. I've also walked in Germany. I walked from Berlin to Leipzig and then Leipzig to Frankfurt a few years back. And I've done the GR20, or the northern half of the GR20 in Corsica. So those are all, different types of hikes and different difficulties of hikes.
Good. So why the TA?
Because there are no bears on the TA. No, it's a little more complicated than that. Back in 2020, I was in quarantine after my gran had died of cancer, and I hadn't been able to be there. I was very, very close to having been there, but couldn't have been there. And I had to do a 14-day quarantine once I got back to Germany. And I felt very claustrophobic in my flat during that period of time. And I started to think about, what do I need to not feel this way in this moment? And I realized I needed something to look forward to, and it needed to be something that was very unbound and very, had a lot of open space. And so I started to dream about doing a through hike. And I wasn't sure which one to do. I investigated a few different options, and literally I decided on the TA because I had a friend who'd done it, so I had somebody I could leverage as a resource. There are no rattlesnakes or bears, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. And it was in a part of the world that I hadn't really explored before. So that's why I chose the TA.
Perfect. And what was the biggest hurdle you had to jump through to get over here and do the TA?
Getting my boss to agree to give me the time off. I was actually wanting to do the TA last year, during last year's season, but I got a promotion at the end of July last year, and I had kind of thought, I'll put the TA off for a while, and then there were some circumstances end of last year that made it clear that that was not the way that this was going to go. I needed to do it sooner rather than later. So I had a very awkward conversation with my new boss in March to say, thanks so much for the promotion. I love my job, but I'm going to need you to give me 6 months off. They were not keen on that idea, so we negotiated. But they did eventually agree to give me 5 months off. And I've made that 5.5 months with some paid leave. But that series of conversations took about 3 months.
Yeah.
It was a big ask.
Mm-hmm. And what's been your favourite experience on the TA?
I think I really enjoy meeting the people. I'm quite an extroverted person, but I don't necessarily like to be the centre of attention. So getting a chance to meet so many people and have so many conversations is something that I really just enjoy about being out on trail. And I think there's something about the amount of time that we spend together, but also the kind of thing that we're doing. It really cracks people open, and people are very authentic in how they present themselves and what they'll talk about on a trail. And that's really special. And then there are a lot of people who are really curious about why someone would do this. Yeah. So we get to meet a lot of interesting locals as well. So yeah.
And then the other side, what's the worst TA experience so far?
This will not surprise you.
Is it a forest?
Ratia forest. Hands down. I thought I was prepared for the forest, and I was not prepared for the forest. It took us much longer than I think it took the average number of people. It took us 15 hours to do. One of our party was injured, and so we kept pace together, but I struggled through the forest too. And every time there's a difficult section, my brain flashes back to Ratia Forest. So I think it will probably stay with me for quite a while, until there are more positive experiences to kind of overshadow it.
Yeah. Anything else you might want to say?
I would really encourage people who feel any kind of desire to do this kind of thing to seriously consider it and try and make it happen. If not for 4 months, 5 months, then try for 1 month somewhere. There is something very special about through hiking, and I think if anybody feels any kind of call or desire to do it, they should pursue that, because you become a very honest version of yourself. You learn a lot about yourself. You're confronted with the best and worst of who you are, and I think there's a lot of growing that happens as a result of that. So I would give that as advice. And I'd also say that there is you learn. There's an old adage of you pack your fears when you go through hiking, and I think we are confronted a lot with what we are actually afraid of when we hike, and we do that in little ways. We pack too much food, or we take too much water, or we prioritize too much time for sleep, or we become too introverted or too extroverted, or we take little care of our shoes or too much care of our shoes. And I think it shows us a little bit more who we are in our day-to-day, because sometimes we're so busy that we don't notice. And so I think that's also a part of what makes the through hike special, is learning more about ourselves.
Well, there you go, everybody. Hopefully you now know a little bit about Nicola, who you see in the background, the navigator. From her experience, you can see why we all lean on her for a bit of navigation. And it's been a pleasure walking with Nicola so far. She's probably going to have to jump on a bus and fly off ahead of me, so she won't be with me for the whole trail, but thoroughly enjoying the company, and we'll make the most of it while it's still here.
Yeah, thanks, Ray.
Thank you.